Hey everyone, so tonight I'm going to be replacing the transmission control module on a 2008 Mazda 3 2.3 liter motor hatchback. And the transmission control module looks like this. And after looking online, it sounds like it's fairly easy to do, but I couldn't actually find a video for it when I searched online. It's supposed to be located underneath the battery tray, so somewhere over here underneath this, and is really, supposed to be fairly simple. It's supposed to remove some of the bolts and then be able to replace it fairly easily. So as far as I can tell, looks like there are, there's just this one here, and then let's see on the other side. It's probably sitting somewhere down there on the transmission. If you can see that wire, that set of wires down there, try and focus on it. It should be in the direct middle. Right in there, that guy should be probably off to the right of that somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove the bolts and whatnot and check in after that's done. Okay, so after removing this cover here, which goes here, I realized that in order to move the battery tray out, you'll have to use a 10 millimeter on these this bolt and that bolt there, and this one's like an 11 or something different. That you also need to remove what I guess is this cover as well over here, and you'll also need to remove the covers that go over here like this, which are for this other duct, which sits like this. So I guess it's like a cooling vent, but it's this piece here that flows into the battery box. So either way, you'll have to remove these pieces so that you can lift the battery tray up out of there. And so I'm going to go ahead and unbolt those other pieces and check in again. Okay, so I have the battery out, and looks like the mechanic must have left like an odd bolt in there, because this one was 11 millimeters, but this is 10, and everything else was 10, including the ones that were on the wire harness itself. So you can see I've got the 10 socket down there. I checked these other 3 bolts, which you will need to remove, which are here, there, and there. And I think after that you'll be able to lift this up. What came off of the battery was this over here, and when you put it back, very handy, it actually has like a diagram with the arrow pointing forward, so just to make sure that when you put it back on, you put it this way. But yeah, it looks like the box actually comes apart a little bit, so I think you can pull the tray out in pieces. Seems like this piece here, you can just pop this out. I think probably able to pop this clip out here. Maybe you don't even need to. Maybe you can just leave it off to the side and you can just pull this piece out. But I'll check back in a second. Okay, so what I wound up doing was flipping this up out of the way. It was, sitting pretty inside there. I wound up twisting it, flipping it upside down over here, out of the way. What's going on is grab the light here. TCM is sitting right underneath this plate here, which you can see right there, which is held on by supposedly 3 clips. You can see, or 3 bolts. One is in the front there, and if we take a look, it's got another one on either side of it. So, you know, somehow you've got to get your hand in there and take that out. Should be one right there. You can see it. The other one should be that way. Oh, there it is. Let's see if I can get it. There it is. Well, right there. Which, backing out, is underneath that big plate. So yeah, you've just got to unclip this plug back there, and then you'll be able to get it. Looks like some kind of harness on there. It might be difficult, but we'll see what that's all about. I might actually just remove this big plate that's in the way here. I think I'll do that instead, so I'm not struggling with it too much. Yeah, that big plate seems like it'll be a pain, so I'll remove that. Okay, so here is the piece sitting in there like this. Couple things which you want to know is this piece is like a normal bolt. This piece is a normal bolt. The thread into the transmission isn't very deep, but this one is actually a long bolt, and you're gonna probably want either an open crescent, like an open, I forget what to call those, like an open wrench for that. And let's see if I can find it, show you what it looked like. Let's see. Here it is. So it looked like this, and was threaded into the transmission, looked like that. Now, yours may not look like that, but I believe it is this actual one. Like, I had a family mechanic actually working on this, troubleshooting whether it was the solenoids or the TCM before, and found that, like, for example, the 11mm bolt wasn't the one that this actually came with. But yeah, so I think this is actually the proper one. And there's another little piece down here, so you can actually see right there that long piece. This actually sits up inside there, so I think actually this is the right one. It's just kind of sat on top of it, but yeah, it's off. Watch yourself on the clip removal. It can sometimes be a little stuck. It wasn't immediately obvious to me. Sorry, that it came off a certain way, and I just so happened to not be wearing a glove and got myself a little, gouge a little bit there. It's normal. Working my car a lot, so it happens a lot. But if you don't want that to happen, don't forget to wear your gloves, because it can be stuck and all that. So next I'll put it on. Next thing you want to be aware of when you're putting the clip back on is, the bottom should be clear, like how it is on this new one. But when you put it back in, I guess it's fairly common that you can bend these pins, and so it might not work properly. So you would hate to actually put that back in and realize that hey, that didn't go in properly. Another thing to note, which I don't see the part number on here, which is interesting. caution sticker's not on there either. But, oh, here. So this one is L340-189E1B. And this one is L340-189E1E, which is a little disconcerting because supposedly you need to get either the exact same one, you can't get one below it. So these range from A, B, C, D, and E, E being the latest one, and from my understanding it's supposed to be backwards compatible. I thought this car had an E. When I went to the dealer and checked online and checked everything, it said that that's what this has. I just realized that it says B in there right now, so that is troubling. But so I guess I'll be testing whether or not it actually is backwards compatible. So E goes backwards. You can run an E on like basically any years younger, so any of the cars with the B, but you can't run. I couldn't buy, if, for example, if this car already had an E, I couldn't buy an E and then expect it to run here. Take it for a grain of salt. That's what I read on the forums. So oftentimes those are wrong. But I guess I'll know within a day. Okay, folks, there it is. It's all buttoned back up again. Yeah, it took a little bit longer than I originally thought, but a couple things to note. If you're that I probably failed to mention earlier, which is a flathead will help you pop out the plastic panels. An extension's really useful. You'll need a deep socket. I used a short one as well for the tighter area on the right side of the. Sorry, this is the back. I used it on the bolt that was here. You'll need the deep socket one for the one that's over here. And let's see what else. Use this 11mm. Oh, actually, so the large bolts used a 17mm. That's how I got those big ones out of there. Otherwise, it's all buttoned back up now. Don't forget to replace all the covers and everything. And you should be good to go. Cheers. Oh, I will probably do, an update as well as to whether or not the part number with the E works backwards, since I had a B on mine. And so I guess we'll see whether or not that works. Okay, so I thought this might be useful. I'm going to start the car for the first time and see whether or not it's realistic to expect that the the check engine light and the transmission light are off once you first start the car. So, let's see. Huh. So, they were showing over here on the left side. Right now it's just saying that the tire is flat. So it's California. Right now it's a bit cold for like our weather. It's reads 55 right now, so the car also hasn't been driven for a while, so I imagine that's normal. Hopefully that doesn't mean something else. I actually have my OBD II reader, which I will summarily plug in, and as we can double check, but so far it seems to be running okay. A little rough on the idle. Seems to be running okay. I'll give it a spin and see how it goes. Okay, everyone. So I did finish the swap of the TCM. Seems to be shifting fairly smoothly. Wanted to get some shots of this. You know, one thing is, like, you know, I had, you know, some of the symptoms were hard shifts. Basically, it would go into limp mode. It wasn't going above third gear. First, second, and third were really rough. Some of the like telltale signs, and I wasn't sure if it was going to be the solenoids. I wasn't sure if it was going to be the transmission control module. As I'm driving it around now, you know, it seems to be that the transmission control module is what fixed it. But you know, that being said, like what I didn't mention was, like, you know, or I sort of mentioned it, was that the family mechanic actually had a go at it, and was able to, you know, he actually replaced the solenoids twice, and was still having the issues with the shifting. So, you know, he swapped the TCM to like a new TCM and another Mazda 3, and it actually wound up being like the fix. So, you know, if you can get your hands on the same TCM from like a used car parts place, like a junkyard or Ecology Auto Center or something along those lines, or even online on like eBay or like Rock Auto or something of that nature, you know, you could get this part for a lot cheaper. Like the dealer, when I went there, said it would be about $675 for the part, and you know, quoted me like a couple times, or a couple different places quoted me between like $150 and $275 to do it. But you know, supposedly it was really easy. You know, as I mentioned, I couldn't find any like videos, you know, actually saying that, but or saying what the like actual process was to go about fixing it. So that's why I decided to, you know, put this one together. But, you know, all that to say that, yeah, it wasn't really that hard. The TCM is what fixed it. The solenoids didn't fix it. You can find the TCM for, you can find a used one for much cheaper. I actually found one from Rosenthal Mazda, I believe it was, and it wound up being $514. So, you know, regular shipping on that from the East Coast over here to the West Coast where I'm at was, I think, like $35 from UPS, and it actually got here in just about a week through standard UPS ground. And yeah, it seems to have worked. I double checked. I have, as I mentioned, like an OBD II reader. I went ahead and did a, you know, there was a code on there. I cleared it. It didn't seem to come back. As I'm driving it around now, it seems to be fine. You know, and so now she's running good. It's got refilled air in the tires. It's got fresh oil, fresh transmission fluid due to those two failed solenoid replacements, and yeah, new TCM. So it's running good. So hopefully this helps some of you guys that are running into, you know, some of the same problems that I was having. And yeah,